Some of you guys might remember this car behind me. We built this car last month. It's a stock block 6466 rotated car. And well, some of you guys said it wouldn't even last 2 months. You're wrong. It lasted a month. So the car started pushing coolant and just spraying it out everywhere in the engine bay. So we're gonna be putting a billet motor in this thing, ACT mod twin clutch, and then just kind of keeping the setup pretty similar. We do have a Process West intake manifold that is gonna be going on here, so there's gonna have to be a couple changes with the intercooler piping and a couple other small things throughout this engine bay, but it shouldn't be anything too crazy for us. So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and drain fluids out of this thing. We gotta get coolant and oil out. I don't expect there to be too much coolant because as you guys can see, it did spray coolant everywhere and the coolant overflow is completely filled. We don't have any oil in there, so what it looks like is it just lifted the head, pushed coolant, and didn't actually mix any oil or coolant. The first thing we need to do is get fluids out of this thing and then start dismantling this. I'm gonna break this video up into 2 parts of disassembly. We are gonna tear that short block apart, and then the next video will be reassembly of putting this thing completely back together. So with all of our fluids out, the way I'm probably gonna tackle this engine is start getting all the accessories out of the way, intercooler piping, intake, shrouds, more intercooler piping, start getting down, get the intake manifold off, and then just work our way down to that short block. Like I said, you can pull these engines with the intake manifolds on. I just prefer to take them off when I pull these things out. It just frees up some more room for me. Get the intake out of here first. They did trim down this ETS intake because it did stick a little bit too far into the fender well for him, which I agree was a little deep. There we go, come on, intake, there we go. It's a fresh build, so everything should come off pretty nicely. There we go. Okay, well, there's one off. Get our intake manifold out of the way here. We got some vacuum lines and whatnot that we're gonna have to pull off of the boost controller, but it should be bad. We got a couple head breathers here that I can try to get off. Oh, I put clamps on those like a smart boy. We got a throttle body connection, map sensors disconnected, coolant lines right here, which these I don't know if we're going to be reusing since we're swapping over that Process West. That guy can come up and out of the way. Oh yeah, this engine smells like E85. Let's get power steering out the way. We'll get power steering and AC out the way. I tell you guys this all the time with AC and power steering. There is absolutely no need at all to disconnect the lines. Don't do it. You're gonna make it so much worse for yourself if you disconnect those lines and you let out all the R134. Pick up AC, move to the side. Look at that, AC. I like to tuck it down a little bit. AC, just live right there, out of way. No need to disconnect. Set where intake would normally go. Look at that. Don't disconnect line. Don't do it. It's silly. I want to get this AOS out the way though, because this thing is kind of
Let's make it a mess.
I want to show you guys this real quick because so many people always ask, how do you set up an AOS when you delete the upper expansion tank? On this is IAG's, I want to say they're on V4, so this is their newest one. One coolant line is going to come out and it's going to wrap down to the hard line coming up from the water pump right there. So it's going to go water pump up to the AOS. The other side of the AOS is just going to go down to where it would normally connect to the turbo, and you just connect those two lines up. And that's really all you have to do to delete the upper expansion tank. Then obviously remove the lines that would go to the radiator and the overflow, and then just run the radiator overflow line straight to that, and then that's all you got to do. So I did want to show you guys that real quick. So with the coolant lines, you're just going to run one of them up from the water pump and then the other one back down to the block. So now that we've got the intake manifold out of the way, let's actually go ahead and get the fuel lines out, the TGV housings out, fuel rails out. Let's get this out also because there is just a lot of lines that just make the engine bay look so messy from that AOS. Then we'll do turbo, exhaust manifold, pull engine.
Jake to come down and do two some of the window cutting oil.
We gotta do downpipe, O2 sensor, V-band, engine mount, trans mount, and I think that should be it for down here. I lied, and the radiator fan. O2 sensor. Two coolant lines, clutch fork, and we are free. Hey, come on. This is totally gonna leak coolant too, so. Pull up on the clutch fork to get it to disengage. Ow, my finger! Oi, it got me finger! Tomorrow.
Yeah. We went and saw Limp Bizkit last night.
With our engine out, we can start tear down. So the way that I like to tackle these once they're out is get all of the accessories, all the little stuff off. And by that I mean exhaust manifold, oil pan, coil packs, spark plugs, timing covers, crank pulley, all that stuff. Just get it off, get it out the way, and that way we can start tearing into the engine. I am hoping that the cam gears are not super stuck on here because a lot of the time with EJs, the cam gears, especially the exhausts on the passenger side, don't like to come off. So I'm hoping, I've got some FU, TIC, Company 23. I don't know who makes them anyway. Everybody, the Company 23 and TIC make them, I think, for the cam gear bolts. We're gonna be swapping those on. They both make them. I don't know if Company 23 just took over or not, but we have some of those. Instead of 10mm Allens, they're 17mm hex, so it'll make life easier. So let's jump into it. Let's tear this thing down. Start by getting our crank pulley off here. That comes off so nicely. Now, because this engine never suffered from any type of bearing failure or anything, all the cam gears are reusable. They all still look fairly new, which is a huge plus. Whenever doing these, if you have an issue where you have any type of failure, and it's in the oil system, you gotta replace it all. Oil coolers, cam gears, all that. Now, we are still replacing the oil pump, mainly because it's a brand new engine and that's just a smart thing to do. Before you pull timing stuff off, make sure that the engine is in time. Try to catch it, but catch none of it. That is 180 out. You know, if I took the spark plugs out, it'd make this a heck of a lot easier. Always start with this bottom pulley here, guide it out, so that way it doesn't want to push down because you do have tension on that pulley. Then this one, roller guy. Well, you can take off the tensioner. So we have a new one going on. Take the belt off. Ah! Holy shit. Exhaust manifold did not want to come out, Remy. Lives.
I'm alive.
I've seen you in days. Didn't know if you're still kicking. See how we don't throw the Subaru away when it breaks? Very responsible. Very demure. Very classy. See how we don't yell at it when it has a problem? Very mindful. So on the back side of the passenger head, you got your oil feed line for the turbo. Take out the banjo bolt there. Same with the coolant line. You've got two 10s holding both those lines in. Break both of those off, get them out of there, get them off the engine. I'm hoping that
That's so fetch, Tanner.
I'm hoping that this engine cooperates and the cam gears come out without having to drill them out. What's the worst that'll happen? These are gonna pee everywhere.
Just look at the angles.
Every single time. I don't have the dual ABCS tool.
Oh, I've never done it, that's why.
When you don't have the tool, it makes it fun. This is a real pain in the ass way to do it. Does it work? Yes. Is it a real pain in the ass?
Yo! Yeah.
Now we just gotta do that other one down there. I don't advise you guys do it this way, but if you don't have the tool, it works. It works.
Buy the tool.
Okay, so this time it's got to spin that way, so it's going to want to try to come down. So do I want to go over the water? I want to go over the water pump, not under. I'm buying the dual AVCS tool tonight. Ah, look at that. Science! Science! Actually, I think that's called gravity, what we just did. Oh. It's alright, we found it. Look at that. Dude, that valve grinding compound works fucking titties for taking off like stuck bolts. Levi's learning. This is Levi's first EJ teardown.
Yeah, also sliding all over this floor.
Welcome to EJ teardown. You can pull the engine forward,
Dude,
so it's out of the oil.
this. We're dancing out here. Since you know where they all are, just two?
Yeah, well, there's three, but I already took the other one off.
Oh, nice.
Okay, now you're gonna want the 17 millimeter. You can do the oil line. That's the most forgotten line when people rebuild these.
This oil line?
Yeah.
Well, they gotta replace them?
No, people forget to put them on and then they try to put it on after they time the engine and you can't. So you have to undo all the timing and take the cam gear back off to get that on. We've all done it.
I'll try not to forget that one.
You don't want to forget that. Just give her a spin job.
Spin job.
I'm gonna grab the oil thing once it starts leaking and try to capture some of it.
So let me ask before I keep going, is there any other way to just slow this down or just send it?
Stop it right there for a minute. Ratchet. See if you did.
It's the one with the O-ring seal on it. Oh, so you can lift it out. I didn't know they gave you that.
Killer View does.
Interesting.
What?
On mine.
With the engine in the car?
With the engine in the car, yeah.
How much did it suck?
Pain in the ass. Just lift up the motor and trying to get to, oh, let's see, what orientation are we trying to get to? I think here. These bolts back here. Absolute fucking nightmare.
Yep. These ones. These 4.
Is it those 4? Yeah.
How the fuck you get that one? I'm gonna pop that guy off.
Tap, tap, tapper.
So if you look at the head, this is head 351.
Yep.
This is 351I intake.
Yeah, 351.
Yeah.
Is it just E for exhaust, or they don't even have
Yeah,
one?
I intake, E exhaust. This can only go on one way. So they're all labeled. Even if you took them all out and threw them all in a box,
Yep.
you'd be able to know which one goes
You'll
where.
still be able to know.
Get the girdle piece off. You're gonna have to tap on it right here. Like that. There we go.
Sweet.
Cam seal, camshaft, camshaft.
Hilarious. You good?
Yep. Okay, ham.
All right, we need to
You're
clean.
going that way. All
We
right,
need to
so
clean.
I gotta hold it this way.
We gotta clean the floor, bud.
What are you doing? Here, hold the engine. Let me see.
I've got no traction, bud. Try it. See if you slide around.
Put your foot in front of it.
Oh, you're cheating at this point.
This is the way that I always do it.
Yeah, you're cheating.
What do you mean I'm cheating?
That's cheating. Go for it.
Dude, normally I do this by myself.
I know it's cheating. Don't listen to Tanner. He doesn't tell you the tricks, and then he does it. He's like, yeah, see, this is how you do it.
You didn't ask.
You didn't show.
You just
He's
asked-
supposed to be a teacher over
You just
here.
asked the order. Yeah, if you straddle the engine stand.
Any particular spot?
Smell that.
Oh, that smells fucking gross.
That's what used Subaru engine smells like.
That smells gross.
All right, now we do a flip job. Or storage. That way we got room over here. Good. There you go.
Instructions not clear. Bolts.
Instructions unclear. Girdle pop. Cam seal. Cams.
So how'd you straddle this?
You're gonna use your right leg to kind of pull the engine stand back towards you, and then use your like groin inner thigh to push against it.
And then push forward.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Try to keep the bar as close to your body as you can so that we can get more leverage on it.
Okay, it's about here.
Yeah.
How was you going on?
It's more fun when you gotta torque them down and they're like 1/2 inch or 14 mil and you're going to like 140 foot-pounds. New Subaru engine smell.
Here's the winner. This is your guess, right?
It's gotta be that side. I mean, the other side is okay. Get up, you bitch. There we go. You see any compromises? Oh, JK, it's all right there. You can see the exhaust
Yeah.
gas. Blood on the inside and right here. And right here. Good old case of failed head gaskets. Old engine all torn down and set aside. I need to thoroughly clean all of this and all of that in the next video. Our new engine is set up on the stand though. That way it is prepped and ready for reassembly. So this is one of my engines that I built. It's a V3 out front closed deck, OEM crank, Manley H Tough Plus rods, Manley pistons, 1/2 inch head studs, the thing's kit and caboodle. This will ensure that it A, will actually hold the power that this car is making, and B, it will not lift a head again. So this, we're gonna start reassembling in the next video. On the head gasket, you guys can see some of that brown blackish stuff right there. Combustion gas that got out from the cylinders and worked its way under the gasket into the cooling system and obviously pressurized it. We noticed right here, right here, right here, and right down here, the head gasket had failed and it was pushing coolant. Now, if you were to stay out of boost and just drive the car as normal, you probably wouldn't have any issues with this for a while, but as soon as you'd go to get into boost, this would be compromised, pressure would get into the cooling system, and you just continue to push coolant. With the stock motor stuff, you gotta remember that some of these blocks will last a month like this one did, some of them will last a year, and there really isn't a way to tell you an accurate representation for how long they're gonna last. But if pushing a stock motor is something that you do want to do, make sure you do have a contingency plan like this. If you're just pushing a stock motor just for the fun of it and you don't have a backup engine or you don't have a way to be able to fund another engine build, don't do it. For the little amount of money that stock old motors sell for, you might as well get the enjoyment out of it if you're already gonna be putting in a built motor and you can afford to do this. Subarus get expensive. Well, not even Subarus, cars get expensive. So if this is something that you guys are gonna be willing to do, or something that you guys are going to do, just have a contingency plan for it. That's all I got for you guys on this one. Like I said, in the next video, we're gonna start reassembling this EJ25, getting it into the car and getting it prepped and ready. It may be the next video or it may be the following. I am waiting on a washer to come in for the head studs because I'm missing one washer. So I just need that to come in. But anyways, if you guys like the video, if you're hyped to see it, if you're sad or you called it for how long the Subaru would last, or if you just like the video, hit that like button. Turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be, I'll put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet. But with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.